All right, I'll be honest with you. This is going to be the slacker response, which may be appropriate at this point in the evening. So when we celebrated Joe Stiglitz's 50 years of teaching, he noted that at 12 years old, he really had a vision, and he saw himself becoming a professor. Now, that's a considerable coincidence, because at 12 years old, I had a vision, and I got to exactly the same place in a slightly different way. My vision was that I had to find a job where I didn't have to wake up before 9 o'clock in the morning more than 2 days a week. And that meant I was going to become a professor, too. Given that extraordinary beginning, I think you'll understand that while I am very, very pleased to get this award, I am also more than a little surprised. And in fact, I think what I would like to do is that I would like to recognize the extent to which getting this award has depended on pretty ruthlessly exploiting a whole bunch of sets of people who have made extraordinary contributions to my career, for which I have relentlessly been willing to take credit. And first and foremost of those, I think, is my students. It has been an extraordinary experience teaching at Columbia Business School, that the students have been extraordinarily engaging and extraordinarily intelligent. And to be really honest, a lot of what is in those books, and actually we're going to write a much better version of the value investing book, is attributable to ideas generated by those students. So first of all, I would like to thank the students and the alumni they've become for that. Secondly, I have always felt, and I think my friends will concede this, a walking generator of the need for trigger warnings. And what I am also thankful for from that student population is the extent to which their sort of genial disregard for most of what I say has meant that I've never gotten in trouble for it. And I would like to thank them all for that also, but more seriously, and I think you just saw an example of it here, and you will see an example of it with the next honoree, that I'm happy to take credit for the extraordinary work that Columbia Business School graduates have done in the world. And I think if you look at things that have had a big impact, and here the one that comes to mind is the emergence in China of hundreds of millions of people from poverty. It really, while in the long run it's important to have scientists and lawyers and government types and even, I dare say, reporters, but what happened in China was professional business people running organizations extraordinarily efficiently, and those are my students to some extent, at least in spirit. The second, which I'll do this much more quickly, is I have had the privilege of working under the supervision of two extraordinary deans. Now, I'm not going to name names except for four, because once you start naming names, you're always going to forget somebody, and you're going to get in real trouble. But I think they know who they are, and I think you know who they are. And I am, of course, extremely thankful to them for a long, rich, and in my case, administration-free career at Columbia Business School. Third, I would really like to thank, and here I think it is important to recognize that value investing is a community, and it is a community that runs from Graham and Dodd through obviously Warren Buffett, but there are a lot of significant contributors. And it has been an honor and a privilege to be part of that community, both for intellectual reasons. As I say, I'm always happy to write books that encompass other people's ideas and get credit for them, but also because actually, with remarkably little trouble to myself, we have generated a program that I honestly think I can say is the premier program in investing now in business schools. People will say they don't hire from Harvard, they don't hire from Stanford, they hire the kids from this program. And as I say, I had almost nothing to do with it. And now I'm going to name the three names. Erin Bellissimo, Louisa Schneider, and Meredith Tribetti managed to put together this program. with no more than one meeting a week with me at Metro Diner, and it wasn't allowed to go on for more than an hour. So I owe a great thanks to them. Finally, I've also obviously had a career in research, and there I really have some advice for people. You will notice that all those books are co-authored. It is something that I heartily recommend, and this is where I'm going to do my quote. When George Bernard Shaw was 50 years old, he was interviewed and asked why was he still living at home at 50 years old with his mother. And he gave a very sensible answer. He said, look, while all his contemporaries were throwing themselves into the struggle for success in life, he decided to throw his mother, and he was really happy with that decision. So a large final part of my success has been my willingness to rely on co-authors, and one of them in particular, I have always been willing to throw Joe Stiglitz into the struggle for life, and it's always worked out really well. It's something I advise other people to do if they can get away with it. And I hope that that relationship has been as enjoyable and rewarding for him as it's been for me, but if it hasn't, I can live with that. So in conclusion, I would really like to thank everybody here in all those capacities who has made this possible for a kid who is as far as possible from the characterization that was offered up here a minute ago. Thank you.